Hi, hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel. My name is Jess and I look a mess because I just got back from 2 consecutive dog walks. I'm dog sitting right now and I can't take them both on a walk together because they just are not coexisting well. It's mostly Nigel, but anyway, as I was walking, I was like, oh, I should go film this video. And so before I lost the motivation, I came upstairs, so I'm sorry if I look sweaty or whatever. So you can probably tell by the thumbnail that I'm talking about the Wheel of Time. I'm talking about the books in this instant, not the show. I'll have a different video on my thoughts on the show, but I have read 3 books in the Wheel of Time series by Robert Jordan thus far. So that's The Eye of the World, I have them up there, The Great Hunt, and then I don't own the 3rd one, I borrowed it from the library, The Dragon Reborn. I did say I was going to read the prequel, New Spring, but I'm not going to read it, or at least not right now. But my main point of this video is to kind of just talk about my feelings, because I have just mixed feelings about the books that I've read so far, and if it's worth me continuing when there are so many books left. So obviously there'll be light spoilers. I'm not going to go into details, but if you haven't watched, whatever. Anyway, I can never remember exactly how many books it is. I think there's 15 books, including the prequel. Anyway, it's like the longest fantasy series. Maybe? Yes? Unsure. But 15 books, 14 books is a lot. And none of them are short. I think maybe the shortest ones are like 570 pages, and I've read the first 3. The first one I have enjoyed the most. I gave it 4 stars. The second one, I gave like 3 stars, and I'm feeling like a 3.5 on the 3rd one. It started out way stronger for me, and then some things took my enjoyment down a little bit. But I'm just like, I'm torn. Okay, I put on some lip chap and I put this on because I feel like it looks better. At least the black looks better than that shirt. Anyway, so like I said, I'm torn on the books. So obviously it's one of the more popular fantasy series. It is expansive, it's long, people love it, and now it has a TV show adaptation on Amazon Prime, which as I'm recording this, I think maybe the 4th episode is out. I haven't watched it yet, but I am watching the adaptation. And so with the series being so long and having questions on if I should continue, I worry, especially from the first episodes I saw, that this whole book series won't be adapted. Or if it is, it's gonna take a long time. And I do wanna know what happens. But then also I know that adaptations change a lot of things because they do have to. Everything can't translate perfectly from page to screen. And I'm hearing mixed things from hardcore fans of the series about the adaptation thus far. But again, it is only 4 episodes out of, a bunch of books. And so I'm like, I want to know what happens, but that's a lot of pages to read. But then also the adaptation is not going to tell me everything that happens. They're going to change some things. It may not get finished, or it may take a long time to finish. So when I read The Eye of the World, I honestly was expecting to hate it, and I didn't. I do have critiques. I think that all 3 of the books I've read this far are too long, and I'll say that for all of the books. Even, I know Brandon Sanderson comes in towards the end because Robert Jordan did pass away before the series ended, and he finished the books, and I've seen some of those books that Brandon, because it has both of their names on the book, and they are exponentially larger. Brandon, why? They were already long and they got longer. So I can already, from my point of view, I think they're too long, each book. And to know each book is too long in a series that seems too long because each book is too long, I'm like, do I want to read all those pages? But at least the first book intrigued me, the whole premise. I like the setup. I like the introduction to some of the characters. Some of them I don't love, some I'm very much intrigued. Like from the first moment on page, very intrigued with Moraine and Lan. Still through the 3rd book, same way. In the show, yes, like totes my fave. Loyal, okay, also an OG. Love him so much. Those are literally my top favorite characters. And while they are very central, especially Moraine, to the story, they're not the main characters. They're like in the main cast, at least Moraine and Lan, from what I've read. But they're not the main characters like Rand, Perrin, Matt, Egwene, Nynaeve. Like, they're not in that group. And granted, this could change. There's a lot of books. I don't know who becomes more prominent or who, like, maybe you don't see them in a couple books. But my favorites as of now are Moraine, Lan, and Loyal. And so I'm like, does it make sense for me to continue a series where even the main characters are not my favorite? And I don't hate them. Like, Rand was getting on my nerves in The Great Hunt. We don't see him a lot in The Dragon Reborn, thank the Lord, because he was working my last nerve because he's being very whiny. I am all for a reluctant hero up to a certain point. In the first book, I gave him a pass. So it's like, dude, you need to accept this and get on with it, all right? Accept the path you were on now. And then a lot of people were saying that they really liked The Dragon Reborn because you got more of Perrin, which I still found Perrin kind of whiny too. Like, I love this whole like wolf aspect thing, and I know this is probably exactly what inspired George R.R. Martin with that part of the story that's in A Song of Ice and Fire, and I love that. But honestly, I just want him to become the wolf. I just want him to be a wolf, and I want him to stop fighting it. I want him to embrace it, and I want him to stop, like, obviously you don't have to love Moraine, but just accept that you are also on this path now. I need you to accept it. And then Matt has gotten on my nerves since book 1. And I'm hearing that he grows a lot because he's some people's favorite character, which I'm like, Miscusi? And so I heard that he changes. So obviously, again, I've only read 3 books. That isn't even a third of the series. Oh my God. So a lot of things can change, but is it worth it? Do you know, like, if you finished all of them, with how I'm feeling now, do you think it's worth it for me to continue the books? In The Great Hunt, like I said, Rand was driving me crazy, and I like the moments we get with, like, the gals, although Nynaeve still works my nerves. 3rd book, she was a little better sometimes, but she still works my nerves. It's funny because Egwene in the 1st book was kind of annoying me, but I like her in the 2nd book, like her in the 3rd book. I like what's going on with the Aes Sedai and the White Tower, all the different, the black, the red, the green Aja, like learning about them. This whole, of course, Loyal, anything about the old years, I'm like, give me more. The plot, the dark friends, all these things, you know. I like the different elements of the story, and I want to know what happens, like how we get to whatever this resolution of this series is. But I don't always enjoy moments of the journey to get there. Like in The Dragon Reborn, I was really into the first part. You got a little bit of Perrin, Rand goes off on his thing because he's whiny, but you got a lot of Moraine, no, you got a lot of Elaine, Egwene, and Nynaeve. And I really liked that part because they were like at the White Tower, and then they were on a thing, and then they came back to the White Tower, and their whole like things and their process to become Aes Sedai. I like all of that is super interesting to me, and the different, you know, sisters or whatever they call themselves. Love that. Like I said, anytime Perrin and Wolf part, I really like that energy. Moraine, I want more of Lan. 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 But also, something that can get a little tiresome for me in longer or in series is because authors have to, if they want to write a series, characters often have the almost, we almost got the thing, or they get the thing and they lose the thing, or they find the person and they lose the person, or they find the person but that's not the person. And there's a lot of that, and I'm like, is it gonna keep being like that every book? Like, because every book is not a resolution, you know, like you need to something by the end of the book, you're like, well, goddamn, we need to go to this book to figure out. And I'm like, is that gonna be my experience for 14 or 15 books where I'm like, oh, here we go, we're getting somewhere? But then in my mind, even if they have this certain item, or they finally get to a certain place, or they find a certain person, I'm like, well, this isn't gonna last because I know there's 10, 12 books left. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, maybe it was different when they were coming out because you're like, oh my God, oh, they finally got this thing. You have more like tension and excitement that they finally found the thing, they finally got to the place, and then towards the end you're like, oh no, now I have to wait for the next one. But I already know there's so many books. I already know this is gonna keep happening. So I'm like, do I want to go through that? And it's like, my library has them all. I have been borrowing the audio and getting a physical copy from the library here because I only own the first 2 books in New Spring, the prequel. But still, so it's like, it's not gonna waste any money. I'm not going to buy them, but is it worth the time? I'm just in this weird place where it's not a hard, where I'm like, oh, DNF, don't care, don't want to read this anymore. But I also am not like, oh my God, this is so amazing. I see what everyone's yelling about, love it, hype train, I'm here. I'm in the middle, I don't know what to do. So basically I'm making this video to discuss my thoughts about the books and to get feedback from any of you who have read The Wheel of Time. I know some of my friends will probably be like, no, just stop. Just stop. I know some people have said definitely read the first 4 and then decide, but I don't know. So I would love your feedback. No spoilers for the books going forward, of course, after, like I haven't read book 4 and on, but I guess my questions are, are the people who are the main ones, so like the 3 boys and the girls, are they always the main focus of the books? Does that change at all? Like the will they won't, not the will they won't they, but the whole like what I was just describing with the up and down, like, ooh, they got the thing, ooh, they got to the place. I'm assuming that keeps happening in all of the books. And then also, so I was, of course, I've been trying to watch people's videos talking about their reactions to, or in their feelings about the adaptation. So I was watching someone's video, and this person has read all the Wheel of Time books and watched the first 3 episodes when they filmed their video. And they were like, you know, they were saying the earlier books. I don't know if they said only the first 3 books or the first 4 books. They're like, in the grand scheme of the series, they're not really like that important. And I'm like, well, that's I don't like that. Because while obviously a series, like things build on top of each other, then you should have made condensed it if like you have 15 books and it's like, well, I mean the first 4, like you need them, but I don't know if they meant it like that or if they meant like so much of what happens doesn't even happen in those books. I don't know. I don't know a lot of things. I'm limited to my experience of only reading the first 3, but I would just appreciate any feedback. I'm going to continue watching the show for Land Daddy because Land Daddy, yes. And I'm going to watch the 4th episode today, and then I'm going to talk about my feelings for the first 4 episodes. I have a lot of thoughts and talking to people about the show. I think we're doing a World Hoppers video talking about our thoughts. I can't wait to hear other people's opinions because I have many, and so look for that video probably next week, my thoughts on the first 4 episodes. But essentially that is the question. Is it worth it for me, from what you hear from me, my thoughts, my feelings, and what you know of the books, and my desire to want to know what happens? And maybe you could take it, if you've watched the adaptation, maybe take that into mind too, if you think they're doing a good enough job with that. And maybe be like, maybe you should just slowly watch the show. I don't know. Anyway, that was it. I've ranted on for long enough. I, of course, have to say thank you to my patrons, Lisa, Hannah, Brina, Kayla, Jamie, Rainer, Danielle, Katie, Bobby, Jen, Leo, Kate, Terry, Emily, Jessie, Janine, Sarah, Pepper, Shannon, Kirsten, Elizabetta, Amber, Celine, Maria, and Serena, and then Nigel, Lavandra, Stans, Brianna, Katrina, Rosie, Ava, Claire, Carrie, Demery, and Rainey. And thank you so much to friends of Bebe and Bebe admirers. Thank you to everyone who watches and supports the channel. Please give this video a thumbs up. Think about subscribing. Check out the description. And please, please, please let me know your feedback down in the comments. But I think that's it for me here. Yeah, I got my COVID booster today, so I was like, let me film something to have ready for the weekend so that I can be a blah tomorrow, because they said however I felt after my second COVID shot is probably how I feel. It's probably how I'll feel after this one. And my second COVID shot, I just felt I felt sore and just like sleepy all day the next day. So I'm planning on doing nothing tomorrow besides sitting on the couch and eating snacks. But that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Stay blessed, hydrated, moisturized, and sunscreen, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.